Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines here. We got Soldier Boy today points out to a huge problem with banks. You're going to want to know about it too. We got the People's Bank of China, the dark side of central bank digital currencies. You're going to want that because we got evidence about it too. European Central Bank, by the way. We got Ripple and Stellar everywhere. Ripple hiring. We'll tell you where and for what. And how about this? XRP near-term price targets. What are they? And we've got one of the best explanations I've heard for a $300 to $400 XRP, and you're going to get that today. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me at Dig Perspectives at the top of the screen on Twitter, and everything that we're talking about here today. It's $2.115 trillion market cap for crypto. Happy afternoon. We are off by 2.35% on the cryptocurrency market cap, but it is April 4th, 2022. Good afternoon, everybody. Bitcoin right now, 45,600, up I believe a little more than $1,000 from this morning. Right now, Ethereum is 3,400 and down at the number 8 spot, 82 cents right now. We're off by 7+% on the 7-day for XRP. Price range right now, 82 cents on the bottom and 85 on the top. We'll keep an eye on it. We are falling at the current moment. We're going to take a look at some incredible video on near-term and long-term price targets. And the long-term may not be as far off as we all think. It's pretty compelling. But right now, let's take a look at this from Link2. The bottom line is Link2 is private investing made simple, and they do it better than anybody. They offer the pre-IPO companies, and they're more accessible, and they bring you the unicorns before they're unicorns. Unicorns being billion-dollar companies in the fintech blockchain space, and they do it better than anybody. And you can get it now with its low $10,000 minimum if you're an accredited investor. If you're not, register today anyway, because you get thousands upon thousands of free data points on all of these fintech and blockchain companies just for registering. There you have it. Link underneath the video. Right here, we see the adoption of crypto is spreading across the globe here. Aussie convenience store giant to accept crypto at 170 outlets. Now, let's take a look at what's going on in India. India here says cryptocurrency exchanges in India have seen trading volumes drop between 15 and 55% since the new tax law came into effect on April 1st. Well, you know, this one doesn't take an economist to figure out what happened. You know, I want to ask the Indian government here, the way my father would, God rest his soul, what'd you end up figuring out? You need to lower the tax and you'll make more money because you're charging so much tax. People are now not wanting to buy crypto the way they were before the high tax that you brought in. Pretty simple math. Right here, Soldier Boy finds out that banks ain't all what they seem. This here from Mr. Intuitive as well. Shout out to you, Mr. Intuitive. And take a listen here because he lays down what the problem is. And what he's pointing to here is a much bigger problem that has been here well before the pandemic. Take a listen.
I go in the bank, ask for $100K. They give me $30,000. Talking about that's all they got. I asked for $100,000. How y'all only got $30,000 in the bank? Where my money at? Make it make sense.
Make it make sense is right, Soldier Boy. And I can tell you right now, what he's pointing to is a problem called liquidity, ladies and gentlemen, and the banks don't have it. And there's no more of a glaring, obvious realization of that notion and understanding than what he's showing you right there. You want 100,000? They're only giving you 30. There you have it. And it's your money. It's your money. Here we got the chat spotlight, which I'm going to bring this back, I think. You know, we need to do this. You guys are so smart. I put out a video this morning. The Great Reset is out and the Russian reset is in equals XRP supranational currency. Go watch that video, please. Frank Hicks makes a point here that's going to make the problem of liquidity even worse because what he's pointing to is the Russian ruble being accepted for gas and oil from the partners they've been dealing with forever. And they're not giving it up. They're saying, regardless of the SWIFT sanctions, you're going to have to pay us in rubles if you want us to give you the gas and oil. Now, this refers to U.S., European Union, the Japan region, and some other places as well. And this is a massive blow to set up the strength of the ruble because of this. Now, you can pay in euros and dollars, but what they plan to do there is to sell those dollars within a Russian territory bank and then buy the ruble instead to the ruble. So this is going to force a downward pressure on the euro and the US dollar. And that's exactly what Frank Hicks points out here. Go watch that video, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, there is big implications from what is taking place in the SWIFT sanctions with Russia and the Ukraine conflict. Look right here, talk about big. The People's Bank of China has announced that its digital yuan pilot program will support 11 more cities. Now, I like this diagram because it does look like we're putting lipstick on a pig is what it looks like to me. But, what it really is pointing to is the problem with central bank digital currency, certainly in China, because they want to be able to monitor everything you buy and have the ability to create negative interest rates and take it back if they need to. All of that, complete control over their citizens. But listen to this clip here. This is the dark side of central bank digital currencies, and it's spreading, ladies and gentlemen. Just watch.
That's not the plan. The plan is the central bank digital currency. You will have crypto. You will have a digital wallet. It will be directly from the Federal Reserve to you. And there will be no little retail banking. That just won't happen anymore.
All online.
Oh, of course.
No more brick and mortar in 50 years?
I mean, no. You just use it like you use Venmo now. Use the same way, only you'd be connected to the Federal Reserve, to the central bank. Now you've been completely morphed into where they want you to be, because then they fully control you. You will own nothing, and you will be happy.
Now, that right there is quoting the World Economic Forum, right? So, but now listen, it's not just China that is really going to slip into this wanting to control your transactions and see what you're doing with the money. Look at this now from the European Central Bank taking a pivot here. We have reported that they were like, oh, privacy is a key factor for our citizens and right? But here we see they're going to use the haste in which they need to move because of the Russian conflict to start to cut the corners on the things that matter to all of us as citizens, whether in the US or in Europe. Privacy appears to be dropping down in the priority list of those designing a new digital euro, and experts are warning that the design choices being made could make privacy harder to achieve. Well, it's not the People's Bank of China anymore now, is it? Panetta, from the European Central Bank Committee here, says does indeed seem to be flirting with a centralized model in which citizens' assets would be held in accounts at the central bank, rather than a more distributed system where tokens flow relatively freely. Oh my, you can read that article. But then we drift out a little bit. Remember when we covered Project Dunbar? I wanted to cover this because that's the BIS Innovation Hub, which is really working with an enormous amount of central banks around the world doing different tests about different things in the use and settlement of central bank digital currencies and derivatives, right? Well, when Project Dunbar came out, everybody was like, hey, it doesn't say Ripple, it doesn't say XRP, we're all out of luck here. That's not the case. Project Dunbar was, in fact, a CBDC test between CBDCs themselves and different banks. And it worked very well. However, it doesn't relieve the friction of the paper world that we're in. That's the problem with that, but that was just what the test was supposed to be, and the test worked. It also highlighted the fact of Corda, which we know has XDC. We also know that XRP is certainly capable of settling with the Corda settler as a digital asset settlement option, as well as them building out other options for digital assets of settlement on Corda's platform. And we also know from Quincy Jones that XDC analyst and brilliant young man who has told us when I interviewed him and talked with him that XRP is a complement. They're not really the same thing at all, and that XRP could be used off-chain to help settle transactions as well. So a real cog and wheel kind of working thing here to make all of these things work together. BondCrypt shares here that Ethereum's volume will all be transferred into Stellar on Starbridge. Wealth transfer, ETH is going down. If you own ETH, good luck with that. Stellar is huge as queen. Then he goes on to say here, if someone really still believes that a $37,500 XRP, which was brought on by Valhill Capital, Jimmy Valley, and suggested, and they used very real formulas as best they could to determine how to put the world debt and many other different formulas that were used to come up with the cumulative number of $37,500 to suit the world for all the money and all the debt to bring us out of the problems that we are in that Soulja Boy just told us about. And he says here, think again, we are being conservative, he says. Here, if you haven't figured out yet what is truly happening in the background, and you're in for a big surprise. He says XRP is king, XLM is queen. I agree with that. I'm reminding you of this, that if you're in this space and you're new, that XLM was created by Jed McCaleb, who is co-creator and really the creator of the XRP ledger, and brought in Arthur Brito and David Schwartz after he created the XRP ledger. When he left Ripple in the early days, he took the code, the XRP ledger code, with him and started Stellar. So Stellar is a nonprofit and they burned their escrow. So there's a few differences in them, but nevertheless, the tech is the same. Take a look at this, because this is Elon Musk that says Starlink Team 2 expecting over 4,200 Starlink satellites in operation within 18 months, which is 2/3 of all the active satellites of Earth. Go! Come on in, Elon Musk. I say here, dimes to donuts. The new financial system is tied into these satellites. Now, I don't have evidence of that, but what I do have is common sense. And common sense is telling me that 4,200 satellites going up through Starlink is not just about Hulu and Netflix. That's what I got to say about that. Especially when you take a look at this diagram about Ripple and Stellar being everywhere on the global stage. Take a look at this diagram right here. Pretty compelling to see all of these connections here between Stellar and Ripple all around the world in these different regions. Yeah, when you see this and understand blockchain, understand that quantum computing is really already here to a degree, I have to wonder, if you want the world to be able to move to a digital realm of operation and communication, without flaws, without it shutting down, without it turning off. And you better have a lot of satellites in outer space, hadn't you? Just my speculation. Jack the Rippler says, I'm going to throw some speculation in here too. This diagram that was shared by Ripple some time ago here tells us all that 80% of central banks are actively exploring central bank digital currencies. Most of them are on the XRP ledger, he says. Now, I can't prove that to you, but we know some are. Now, what I'll say to you is this: how does a company like Ripple get a hold of information like this unless they are smack dab in the middle of it all? I do believe it's much bigger than just the Republic of Palau and the Central Bank of Bhutan. That is for certain. Take a look here. Ripple is hiring, by the way, and look at this. They say they're hiring a new business development director for RippleNet in the APAC region here. Help set the direction, strategy, and priorities for business development in APAC and influence the overall team and business strategy in the region. Identify and secure commercial relationships with Ripple customers and partners, including digital asset exchanges, payments and fintech companies, corporates, custodians, crypto partners, and financial institutions. That's the job and that's the role, right? They're not hiring someone to do juggling. They're not hiring someone to deliver pizza. They're hiring someone to continue to expand everything we understand about Ripple and its operations, regardless of the U.S. lawsuit. And speaking of the lawsuit, which had such an impact on price in the early days and it's worked its way back, let's look at the near-term picture here from CoinsKid, and then I'm going to give you another video from a gentleman who's going to give you the long-term target and a bigger target and explain why. Take a listen right here.
You can kind of match, okay? So look for this example. On the daily time frame, you was down here in the floor. It felt really, depressive, and people were really depressed, and blood, fear, and all that. Like I said to you, you buy your blood, buy your fear. Right now, XRP was in the floor, really overbought, and the stock was in the floor as well. So it was actually a fantastic opportunity to ride the wave up, basically, to ride an impulsive wave, okay? And at that point, we rode it up. And you can see that XRP got really, really overbought, okay? Anything outside the purple zone matched with the stock being in the sky. So that was a good area to take profit at that point, okay? Because you was above the EMAs, and the RSI was overbought, and the stock is in the sky, okay? It doesn't hang around. Look, you can see it moves it up and down in waveforms. So there was a beautiful match there of a buy and a sell, do you understand? Or a go long and a go short, basically. Now, nothing I say is financial advice, I just teach you what I know and what I see in the charts, and it's your own interpretation, and you learn the skill set to do with what you want. So, just here, XRP, you can see in the stock, just there, it was overbought, just there. Okay, it was in the sky, basically, on the stock RSI. Do you see that? Okay, so if you're looking for a break, an impulsive break, you do usually want to see yourself in the floor. And right now we are in the floor, okay, but not necessarily the RSI. So, there's no guarantees that this RSI is going to come down. But if we do start to form a little wedge here and start to fall out of this and come down, sorry, I do apologise. If we do start to form a little wedge here, okay, you're going to start to come down. Everyone's going to get really bearish. You're going to start to come down like this, okay, on the RSI, and the stock is going to remain down here in the floor. So this could offer an amazing opportunity. If it does start to get really deep here, and this RSI does come back into the oversold trajectory, wow, it could be a massive opportunity for yourself, okay? And again, if you do start to come back up, you break out here and you start to come all the way back up there, and the RSI gets really, really overbought, and everyone's really greedy, and the stock's in the sky, take a bit of profit off the table or close you long or whatever. It's entirely up to you. So that's just a little bit of trading using two extra indicators. I do primarily look at price action, but you can add the RSI and the stock RSI as well, okay? So
very, very key information there, I believe. And I want to point out what he has shown to us many, many times, which is the cup and handle that we're talking about. And what we're watching here is if this handle is going to have the breakout to the upside, or if it will invalidate the pattern and break lower. We'll keep an eye on it. But now let's take a look here, because this is Uncle XRP right here. Shout out to Dewan Lee Martin. This video is pretty damn compelling, and I like the way he breaks it down here.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Let's take a listen. Let me open this up full screen here so you can see it, and let's take a listen here to his video. Check it out.
Hey, what's up, guys? I want to make this really fast. So I've been getting a lot of hate comments from a few people saying that I'm giving out hopium. So for those people,
welcome to the crypto Twitter, Uncle XRP.
People that are a little a little scared of XRP right now, don't know what's going on, if we're going to be in a bear market, bull market. I can tell you right now that I believe that we are still going to continue. So right now we have a continuation pattern. We've been having some bullish action right here in the past, and now we've consolidated into a triangle. To show you what that triangle can look like once it is complete, I have a picture right here. So with this picture, we had a bullish trend, and then we consolidated into a triangle right here. After that, we broke out, and the sky's the limit after we break our all-time high. Hasn't happened yet, but I'm speculating that it will happen. And the reason I say that is because we have a lot of data showing that we are at the bottom. Like right now, where we are is pretty much the bottom. If we break down through here, it would be horrible for XRP. But with that being said, what I did was I duplicated this and I moved it above. So that right there would also be a target. That's called a regression channel. What I'm going to do again, which is why you've been hearing a lot of people say that we are headed to 14. I'm going to show you why. Number one, fibs point to 14, but I'm going to put this in the middle of our regression channel, and we're going to find our first target. Our first target after we break all-time high would be something like this. Boom. We break all-time high, and we are headed to this 14, right? After 14, we may do a little something. And after that, we are headed all the way up to, yes, that's why you just saw me post that we could potentially be going to $300 to $400 for XRP. Some people don't believe it. That's perfectly fine. But I think that we will continue to do exactly what we've done in the past, which is extremely explosive moves, consolidated, and then continued. So good luck with you guys, man, and see you next time.
You know, I love the way he breaks that down and shows his work there, just as I see from Coins Kid or Dark Defender. What I wanted to show very quickly here, if I could just get the diagram up here, is this, right? Is the way you see this tight range that he's showing you in the previous history of the chart. It does not mean that it has to happen, right? So let me just hit this
Which
again.
is extreme.
So I just wanted to be light so you could see it. But you could see how this wedge is looking very similar to the history of back here in 2017, 2018. Now, will that happen? I don't know. But what I find interesting is how people can get so upset because I believe it's possible. Look at the information we go over on the daily about what Ripple is getting done with banks around the world and the financial institutions. You know, look, at some point, I believe this happens. Now, I don't know if it happens over the course of a month. You know, I don't know if it happens in 1 year or what have you, or 5 years. But what I do know is that they are continuing to do the things. You do not see Ripple downsizing. In fact, you see them hiring. Things are getting better all the time. And when clarity happens, I believe that could be the fundamental news that becomes the catalyst to actually validate a chart like this. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, leave a comment below. Make sure you check out all the links underneath the video. They're great products and services I use